Multiple safes broken into, drawers ripped open, closets ransacked, boxes.
What the feds just uncovered in Floyd Mayweather's house is terrifying. They're going after Floyd Mayweather's bag. Remember the brother that walked around with $100 million check in his bag, said he ain't even got to cash it? Well, they on his line.
I think it got to right now because the money gone. So the money's really gone.
A stunning development is drawing widespread attention after a report surfaced claiming that the FBI identified what has been described as a $420 million scheme allegedly linked to Floyd "Money" Mayweather. According to the account, federal authorities executed a search at his home in Las Vegas, where they reportedly discovered signs pointing to serious financial misconduct. The allegations include irregular cash transactions, suspicious investment activity, and financial accounts said to be connected to international entities. If these assertions prove accurate, they place intense scrutiny on the carefully crafted reputation Mayweather maintained following his retirement from boxing. The allegations alone were enough to ignite intense discussion across social media. However, the situation escalated even further when ESPN personality Stephen A. Smith addressed the controversy. Offering a firm and unfiltered response, he spoke candidly and with visible intensity, echoing sentiments that many observers had already begun expressing publicly.
A couple toys. They call us the $1 million garage.
I know we're on television, Floyd, but I think it's necessary for me to say, damn.
Well, we are on ESPN. These are sports cars. It's a sports network. This car costs $3.2 million. This Bugatti right here costs $1.6 million. You ain't seen these toys?
I haven't seen these?
No.
What? Floyd, this is 7 cars, man. Silver, platinum, Miami, black LA, white Vegas.
Yeah, in New York, I got my drive.
Reports indicate that federal agents conducted a search at Mayweather's luxury home in Las Vegas, a high-value property that soon drew nationwide focus. Shortly afterward, additional coverage suggested that the search was connected to a broader investigation examining an intricate financial structure. The alleged scheme is said to have included shell entities, cryptocurrency-based laundering methods, and misleading investment opportunities, with certain individuals within Mayweather's circle reportedly identified as possible connections to the matter.
Hey, what's up everybody? So check it out. This morning I was walking through Beverly Hills and I passed by Floyd Mayweather's $30 million mansion. It's over 15,000 square feet with 6 bedrooms, 10 bathrooms, resort-style backyard.
Sources described as familiar with the case allege that investigators left the property carrying a substantial amount of material believed to be relevant to the inquiry. According to those claims, the collection included various digital devices, extensive financial documentation, files mentioning overseas accounts, and encrypted transaction records. The same reports state that authorities are examining transactions totaling up to $420 million, which are said to be tied to suspected fraudulent activity.
Into my lifestyle, showing the people how I live. Now, I know you guys see me on a regular talking about real estate. Well, lately, I purchased 62 apartment buildings in New York City. And what I need you guys to do, slide over and check out the photos. It's not all 62 buildings, it's a few buildings, but guess what? All the buildings belong to me. I don't have no partners. And all the retail down low on my buildings all belong to me.
For years, Mayweather has built his public identity around the Money Team image, showcasing private jets, high-end vehicles such as Bugattis, extravagant diamond pieces, and frequent displays of large amounts of cash. Now, however, reports indicate that federal authorities are questioning whether a portion of that wealth was generated or sustained. Through unlawful activity, the situation grows more severe with claims that certain documents suggest Mayweather may have knowingly backed questionable business ventures or permitted his reputation and likeness to be associated with investment opportunities that allegedly misled thousands of individuals, especially in overseas markets.
How much is it?
$1.8 million.
$1.8 million watch.
$1.8 million, dude?
You're the first to see it.
That's insane. That
1.8 is high. 18 life.
That happy birthday, champ. That's how we doing. 1 point. That is sick, dude.
But you gotta show him what he say.
Money green.
No,
Hold on. This watch was made specifically for the champ, Floyd Money Mayweather. 101 piece. Oh, I see the bag.
One of one.
Money team.
Can we see it on him?
Yes, sir.
That one of one.
$1.8 million.
It's a one of one. I love that.
Stephen A. Smith is not commenting on Mayweather's finances from the outside looking in. He has spent time within Floyd's circle, witnessing firsthand the estate, the fleet of luxury cars, and the private aircraft. He is also fully aware of how significantly Mayweather's wealth expanded throughout his career, having personally observed the discipline, strategy, and control Mayweather displayed inside the ring, and how those qualities translated into enormous paydays. Smith brings a perspective shaped by direct experience. That familiarity influences the way he discusses the business empire Mayweather assembled, as well as the financial decisions and ventures that contributed to its growth.
Mayweather was undefeated for the last half of his career with one hand. He constantly broke his hand.
Yeah.
He would go into a ring knowing he had no shot at knocking somebody out because his hands were hurt too much, and literally walked in the ring and said, I'm gonna embarrass you and humiliate you by showing the world you can't hit me.
What adds additional weight to Stephen A. Smith's reaction is his first-hand experience inside Mayweather's estate. In past interviews and podcast appearances, Smith has described the residence as more than an upscale home. He has portrayed it as a symbol of achievement, evidence of what can be built through talent, tireless dedication, and strategic self-marketing.
Talk to me about why you make the decision to drive different colored cars in respective cities.
Spoiled brat.
Oh, just being a brat?
Just being a brat.
The 7 cars that you showed me are in excess of $15 to $20 million.
Let me see what's the number. We go 3 point.
And you don't drive them.
It's close to 15 million. You're right. It's close to 15 million.
The storyline began to change when Mayweather entered the exhibition stage of his career. Even after formally retiring from professional competition, he chose to step back into the ring, not necessarily to enhance his legacy, but seemingly to maintain a steady flow of revenue. The bout that drew the most attention was the one against Logan Paul. Stephen A. Smith publicly challenged that decision, arguing that the matchup lacked genuine competitive value. Logan Paul, who built his fame on YouTube before transitioning into boxing, was not widely viewed as a serious threat to someone of Mayweather's caliber. For a fighter who once stood at the top of the sport, stepping into the ring under those circumstances appeared less like a pursuit of greatness and more like a calculated financial arrangement.
As if not the greatest boxer in history. He's absolutely sensational. But he retired years ago, and for me personally, I know these exhibition matches are entertaining. I like the one with Conor McGregor, not so much the one with Logan Paul. Looking at these exhibitions and all of that stuff, that little melee and stuff don't matter to me. As far as I'm concerned, it could have potentially been orchestrated. I don't know. But I do know not just anybody should be allowed to be in the ring with Floyd Money Mayweather.
Absolutely.
Some questions surfaced about Logan Paul claiming he had not yet been fully paid. The issue was raised during Floyd Mayweather's appearance on the Pivot podcast. Rather than addressing the matter head-on, Mayweather appeared to sidestep it. He mentioned that he supports YouTube and suggested the situation had been exaggerated, indicating that the delay in payment was simply a timing issue, that he characterized the situation as a normal processing holdup, noting that large payouts are not always delivered instantly. However, many viewers interpreted his remarks differently. To them, the explanation felt less like a clear clarification and more like an attempt to minimize the concern, leaving uncertainty about whether any outstanding payments still remained.
Logan Paul, he said you owe him some bread. How you feel about someone making those type of accusations?
That comes with the territory, right? And you got to realize, when you used to getting, to them that's real money. And I like YouTube because I don't mind getting a YouTube check.
Shit, we getting a YouTube check.
Right.
This is gonna be a big YouTube check.
Yeah, so, the money is not coming fast enough. That's why when they say money on the back end, as far as pay-per-view, it take a while, And he shouldn't trip. If he feel like he done great numbers and we done record-breaking numbers, then I understand. Nothing comes right away. Just like I'm still collecting checks from fights 7 to 8 years ago. I'm still collecting checks. Why? Because I made smart moves and I'm my own boss. So they hate when a tables turn.
Right.
You know, look how many years they've been owing us money. But we don't never trip. So now when the tables turn, they say, oh, you owe us something. Be happy with the biggest payday you ever got.
Fresh reporting is raising questions about Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s claim that he acquired a $42 million real estate portfolio made up of 62 rental apartment buildings in Upper Manhattan. Although Mayweather has stated in interviews and across social media that he owns the properties outright, investigators suggest the ownership details may not be as straightforward as presented. In a video posted to Instagram, Mayweather displayed footage of several residential buildings and declared, "All the buildings belong to me. I don't have no partners." However, a review of property filings conducted by Business Insider indicates that the official ownership records for those properties do not reflect a change.
But you can do the same.
Well, now we're trying to figure out what happened, right, with Business Insider. So according to another update, he did ink a $402 million deal for a Black Spruce portfolio. When he said that it was all his and no one invested, he meant no one was funding his part of the investment but him. And so I think this is something where maybe he owns a piece of this or shares in it, but it hasn't changed hands because the majority owner is still the same owner that it was before. I'm trying to understand what happened with this, but I know there's a story that's circulating, so just putting it out there. Whew, it's a tough one. I'm trying to understand as a real estate person myself what exactly he is communicating when he's saying that he owns this, because they're trying to make it seem like he doesn't, but what it seems like is that he owns shares of these.
Floyd Mayweather Jr. has spoken out amid increasing questions about whether his reported $42 million property acquisition is connected to any financial concerns. He firmly rejected those suggestions, maintaining that the transaction was entirely his and that he alone secured the purchase of 62 buildings in Manhattan. According to Mayweather, the capital used for the deal came exclusively from his own funds. He stressed that no investors, partners, or external contributors played any role in completing the transaction, asserting that the purchase was financed solely by him.
Yes, Floyd Mayweather has reportedly acquired 62 buildings in Upper Manhattan, spending approximately $402 million. This substantial investment was made through his real estate firm, Vada Properties, and is intended to expand his portfolio in New York City real estate market. Mayweather has expressed that this purchase holds significant personal meaning, reflecting his humble beginnings and desire to provide affordable housing options. He stated, "Growing up, I used to dream about owning just one home by myself. When you work hard, you can achieve anything. However, it's important to note that while Mayweather has announced this acquisition, some reports suggest that property records do not yet confirm a transfer of ownership. Experts speculate that he may have acquired a minority stake with options for future expansion rather than full ownership of all 62 buildings outright. In summary, Floyd Mayweather has publicly claimed to purchase 62 buildings in Upper Manhattan for $402 million, aiming to enhance affordable housing in the area. While these claims have been widely reported, the exact details and confirmation of ownership are still subject to verification. So even ChatGPT is saying, like, that's not official. Whether Mayweather is saying it or not, ChatGPT is saying it's not official. That deal has not gone through.
However, property documents examined by Business Insider show that the official ownership of the buildings remains unchanged. This indicates that Mayweather may have obtained only a partial stake, possibly with the ability to expand his ownership later. The contrast between his public assertions and the recorded filings has sparked skepticism, leaving uncertainty over whether he was mistaken or deliberately left out key information regarding the purchase. Floyd Mayweather Jr., known as one of the top earners in boxing history, built his fortune through an undefeated professional career in the ring, paired with strategic self-promotion and brand development.
Floyd Money Mayweather up until recently didn't have any money, so Floyd is the highest earning athlete in his career, making over $1.1 billion. And after making a killing, he ended up retiring in 2017. However, he dug himself into a hole after making super lavish purchases like this LA mansion. It was so bad that he actually owed $22.2 million to the IRS, which made him have to come out of retirement to pay that back. Like and follow for more.
Stephen A. Smith has repeatedly expressed caution regarding Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s exhibition bouts following his retirement. While he considered the matchup with Conor McGregor to be understandable, given McGregor's combat sports experience, Smith has taken issue with Mayweather facing opponents of lesser skill. He contends that entering these fights primarily for financial gain could undermine the legacy Mayweather worked so hard to establish in professional boxing.
The third having any real kind of boxing background. I did not see the fight, although I heard he lost every round and Floyd Money Mayweather was whipping him pretty good. I was not there. I did not see it. I do not know. Here's what I do know, which is where my disappointment comes from. When you are as great as Floyd Money Mayweather, everybody doesn't deserve to be in your space. I know you like to make money. You're never going to stop making money. Very, very few people on the planet know how to make money like you know how to make money. But some of this stuff has got to stop. You want to get Conor McGregor in the ring for an exhibition match? All right, that's fine. You know, Conor sold that. It was great marketing. He's not a boxer, but hey, he was a knockout artist in the UFC. I get it. John Gotti III, I don't know anything about him. I'm not trying to disrespect him. And yes, I'm being smart. I'm not trying to disrespect the grandson of a mobster. Fair enough. But what I'm trying to say is this. When you're great, when you're elite, not just anybody deserves to be in your pristine space. And what I mean by that is I'm not talking about on the street or anything like that. Boxing is your thing.
In an open interview, Smith confronted Mayweather about his intentions, probing whether protecting his legacy was more important than pursuing profit. Mayweather's answers, which emphasized his business savvy and ability to create income, gave Smith and many observers the sense that his attention had shifted from maintaining his boxing achievements to prioritizing financial opportunities.
You made money. You're going to make a hell of a lot more money.
But the main thing is I made smart investments, and I still make millions every month.
Do you care about your boxing legacy?
More than what?
We ain't gonna say more than money. We know better. We're not gonna say more than money. We know better.
More than my family? No. So what's more important? My children. Because when I make this money, you know what? I put my children and my family in a position that they are entrepreneurs. They are bosses. I don't want my kids to have to answer to nobody. So I will take the long road. I will take the bumps and the bruises for them, but for my loved ones.
But fear, it's important to point this out about you. You're not just that way when it comes to your family and your children. You're that way with professional athletes. I know NBA players that have relationships with you. Professional football players that have relationships with you, etc. And the same thing that you just said that you preach to your children and your family, you've been preaching to them. That seems to be a personal mission of yours. Why?
It's about giving back. You know, I don't have to go on record and talk about the things that I do. I don't have to go on record.
Adding another perspective to the conversation, former UFC competitor and analyst Chael Sonnen-Wade in with a surprising take. He suggested that the Mayweather versus McGregor bout may not have been as financially successful as it seemed. Sonnen noted that many of the empty seats were reportedly filled with stand-ins dressed to give the appearance of a sold-out arena. Having attended the event himself, he criticized the image crafted by Mayweather's promotional team, pointing out the illusion of a fully packed crowd.
No, Floyd's not going to do MMA, but he is going to box again. He's enjoying this attention. It's been very smart what he did. I think it surprised him. I think he was just going out to have a little bit of fun. I don't think he realized he could get 4 and 5 weeks of headlines out of this, but he does need to box again, for sure. I mean, you call it breaking news, but I will tell you unequivocally right now, Floyd Mayweather does and is planning to box one more time.
And the motivation behind getting into a ring again to box when he said he's retired, why? Why do it?
Floyd's broke. You got to understand, the only thing more embellished than Floyd Mayweather's pay-per-view numbers is Floyd Mayweather's net worth, and he made a lot of money. But remember this, it does not matter what you made, it matters what you kept, and he is a dum-dum.
So anyone, Floyd's made $1 billion. Floyd has gotten $300 million for Pacquiao, $300 million for McGregor. That might be true, but that money does not exist anymore. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, so Mike Tyson, you know, he did real well too. Evander Holyfield, again, it's not what you made. And don't forget, boxing and MMA math, whatever that number is, you get 30% of. So 30% of $1 billion, he still did really well, but not when you're spending money like that. I mean, that's just the way it works. We've seen a progression of these guys, one after the next, that all end up the same way. And that's broke, and they're just not smart with their money. And, I mean, that's all it comes down to. I'm not even trying to bag on Floyd. Look, he's just not a very bright guy. He's surrounded with even less bright guys. This is the way it works when you're a boxer and you go spend that kind of money. If you ever buy things that cost money to own, you're going to be broke.
In a conversation with Stephen A. Smith, Mayweather was asked whether his legacy or his financial gains came first. Embracing his money persona, he shared that his career earnings have exceeded $800 million, emphasizing that his primary goal has always been building and protecting his wealth.
I've already, in the sport of boxing, I've already made somewhere upwards of $800 million.
You made money. You're going to make a hell of a lot more money.
But the main thing is I made smart investments, and I still make millions every month.
Do you care about your boxing legacy?
More than what?
Well, we ain't gonna say more than money. We know better. We're not gonna say more than money. We know better.
More than my family? No. So what's more important? My children. Because when I make this money, you know what? I put my children and my family in a position that they are entrepreneurs. They are boss.
What's your take? Do Mayweather's exhibition fights add to his legacy, or do they chip away at it? For a retired champion, is chasing huge paydays more justified than seeking real competition? Drop your thoughts and reactions in the comments below.